Sure, and I will put this online. Um, First of all, before we start, how are you guys doing? How's everything going? I heard that in Suli there was quite a lot of happenings yesterday or early this morning. I hope everybody is safe. Okay, so I'm going to start with the lecture. Um, the whole idea of this lecture is to just make sure that everybody understands the um, rhetorical stances so that for Thursday, when I release a quiz for you, you know what to do. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys. Please let me know if something is not clear. Okay. Please let me know if you can see my screen. Okay. You guys are very quiet, so I don't know if you can see or not see, if you are there or not there. Um, just wave so that I know that you are all there. Okay. Right. So, for this week, as I've mentioned in the email, we are going to look at rhetoric. Okay. Rhetoric, basically means persuasion. And when we talk about persuasion, there are three things that we have to look at. And one of those three things is logos, pathos, and ethos. All right. So I want to know, did any of you guys actually go through the slides on Moodle, or if this is the first time you are seeing them? Yeah. Ruz, you had your hand up?
No, sorry, just I just put in my hand on it.
Okay, good. You guys can see the screen and everything, right? Okay. So, when it comes to the three pillars of rhetoric, rhetoric is the language of persuasion. When you are writing or when you are reading or making a speech, there are three things that you have to use, or three things that we believe are important to make your writing appealing and to persuade people. And one of those three things is called logos. And logos basically just means reason, which is one thing you guys have done since the beginning of this class. And it means when you are trying to persuade somebody, you're trying to use facts, okay? Logos is when you are using facts. Um, in our class, what did we do to show that we are using facts? When we have an opinion, how did we show that our opinion is backed up by facts? We did this in class a lot. Who can give me an example of what we did to back up our opinion with facts? Raz?
For example, we use the statistical or scientific things to prove that is that's we are right.
Hmm. Correct, right? And how did we do this in the reading class? By something I taught you guys. It's called in-text what? Citation. That's correct. Thank you, Avesta. In-text citation. Okay. Right. So one of the important things, it's logos. Always having facts, having data, having logical reasoning, and concrete evidence. So when we are trying to persuade our reader or when we are writing something that we are arguing, we always use facts, statistics, and data. Okay. Why do we do this? Because it makes our argument legitimate. It shows people that we have done the research and that something is not simply coming out of our minds, but we've actually looked at what is the existing research to support our stance. Okay. So logos is something that should be easy for you guys to know since you've done that a lot in both the reading class and the writing class. Okay. The second one that I think we haven't really done, and I'm going to try and give more examples of this one, it's called pathos. All right. Pathos just means emotion. So you have facts. Whenever you write something, you need facts to let people believe you. But one thing that is important is to also have emotional connection. That means when you are making a speech or when you're writing an argument, try to get your audience's emotions so that the facts aren't hard on them, but they can actually identify with them to feel that they can actually believe you. All right? I wanted to show you guys an example of that, of pathos. All right? Do you see on the screen here? There's a question. It says, an article on climate change opens with the story of a family who lost their home to flooding. Which appeal does this article represent? So imagine you have an article on climate change, but the start of the article talks about a story of a family who lost their home. How does that work with pathos? What would be the emotion of that story if you could imagine it? Anyone to answer? Okay. Let me repeat it again. You have an article, okay? It's about climate change, which is a very, um, a logical, very scientific happening, okay? So that cannot be pathos. But the article opens with the story of a family who lost their home to a flooding. How do we know that that would be pathos? How? What would a story about a family losing their home appeal to emotion? Okay. Thank you, Vesta. Yes, sad because they lost their home. Okay. What else? Why would it be sad for you? What is it? What feelings does it give from you? Why would it be sad of a family losing their home rather than just facts? Somebody else to answer? No. All right. So, why is it sad? Why is it emotional? Because it's a human story. When somebody loses a home, you imagine yourself losing a home. So, it connects you to a human feeling. It's something that can be a shared experience. If I am having a bad day because I lost my home, you can easily identify with me because you can put yourself in the same shoes. So that's why it would be a pathos, all right? So I don't know if you guys have seen sometimes when politicians or people in power, when they are trying to sell you something, an idea, they don't just stand on facts. They have to use emotion, all right? Because emotion shows them a human connection. So that is what we call pathos. All right. Then the last one is ethos. Now, ethos is credibility. All right. Imagine me telling you that you must do your work because if you don't do it, you will get a zero. All right. That is an appeal of authority. It's me having authority over you. If somebody says that you should take medication because 80% of it will save you, if it's a doctor saying it, you will believe it. But if it's somebody just on the street saying it, you won't believe it. Okay? So ethos is credibility, expertise, and fairness. How do we know this? We look at professors, we look at doctors, we look at institutions that have a sense of authority. Okay, so I have one question for you. Imagine somebody's talking about climate change. Which institution would be an appeal of authority? Would it just be a teacher's words, or would you look at an international organization's words when they talk about climate change? Who would you believe? So imagine it's climate change, and I'm telling you, me as a teacher, just an English teacher, climate change is bad, okay? And that it's real, it's happening. But then the UN tells you climate change is bad. It's real. It's happening. Which one is the appeal to authority? Who would you believe? Me or the UN? The UN. Yes, that's correct. The UN. Why? Why would you believe in the UN? I'm going to start calling you guys up because I feel like I'm having this Zoom meeting just with Avesta and Roz. So I'm going to call up Jenard. Jenard, why would you believe in the UN rather than me? Imagine I'm talking about climate change and I'm telling you it's bad, it's real. Okay, it's just me. I'm an English teacher. All right. I do not have a degree in science. All right. Then you have the UN telling you that climate change is bad. Who would you believe? Me or would you believe the UN? And why, Jenard? Jenard. He's not there. Chawan.
Yes, miss.
Yes. Who would you believe? The UN or me?
The the UN, because they work for the a group of people
Mm-hmm.
that will have the same problem,
Mm-hmm.
and it's reliable, and they have experiment.
Good. They have expertise. Okay? Expertise.
Yes.
And I like the fact that you said they work with a group of people. Who are those people? Probably scientists, right? People that have the expertise to tell you that scientifically something is not right in climate change. All right. So that is what we call ethos. So when you build an essay or when you build an argument, you always need these three things. You need to have logos, which is to provide data, statistics, and logical arguments. And then you need pathos, which is emotion and values. And then you have to look at ethos, which is authority and trust. Okay? Are you guys okay with that? Does that make sense? Just raise your hand if that makes sense. Good. Okay, right. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen a little bit. I wanted to share with you guys, um, it's in your Reading 100 course readers. I want you to go to your Reading 100 course readers, which would be on page 71. I'm going to share my screen again, and then we can do this exercise together. Okay. So this is your reading reader for Reading 100 on page 71. And the purpose of this is to identify the different rhetoric. Let me just move it down. Sorry about that. There you go. All right. Okay. So what you need to do is you need to look at each sentence and identify whether the pictures, represent ethos, logos, or pathos. So there are sentences and there are also here pictures. So this is just a quick way for you to see that you actually understand the different rhetoric. So the first one, it says by donating only 100 dinars a day, you can help give a child education. By donating 1,000 dinars a day, you can help give a child an education. What do you think that appeal is? Ethos, logos, or pathos? And some of them can be both, by the way. Okay. Some of them can have two things going on there. Raz.
I think it's a patho because it's emotional, right?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yes, it can be pathos because it can give a child an education. Why is it pathos? What is it about that sentence that is emotional? What can you identify with as a person within that sentence, Raz?
Yes, it's as you said and explained it to us, it's connected to our feeling to humans that we can feel that
Exactly, exactly.
emotional.
That's correct. Okay. It's about the fact that as a child, you have automatic empathy and sympathy for a child because you yourself were a child at some point. It's a shared human experience. Okay. Thank you, Raz. Number two, choosy moms choose Jif. So it's from a peanut butter commercial. Choosy moms choose Jif. This one is a bit tricky. Imagine authority. Who would be the authority in a home when it comes to buying food products? Who does that? Okay. Raz,
It's mom, actually.
yes. Okay. And it's not the children. So with this one is a bit tricky. What do you think it is? It's not pathos. What do you think this one would be?
Actually, I didn't understand the sentences to
Okay.
decide
So
what's the path.
okay, I will explain it to you. So choosy moms choose Jif. So it means mothers that have a lot of knowledge, mothers that care about, about the nutrition that they give their children, they always choose
Hmm?
Jif. Now, what is Jif?
The
Jif is a
ethos,
peanut butter.
ethos, if that's,
Yes, that is correct. It's
yeah.
ethos. Okay? It's ethos because the mom is in charge. She's the authority when it comes to food in the house. So that's why it is ethos. Thank you. The next one, Avesta. The Ministry of Health recommends getting a flu vaccine every winter. Avesta, are you there? Oh, she writes in the chats. 1 second. Logos? No, not logos. The Ministry of Health recommends getting a flu vaccine every winter. The Ministry of Health. What is that one? Sorry, Avesta also messaged again. Logos. Yes, it is ethos. Thank you. Yes, Avesta, it is ethos because it appeals to authority. All right. Who's the authority? The Ministry of Health. All right. Chawan, number 4. Nearly 25% of all car accidents are caused by drivers using mobiles while driving. Look at the information. Which one would it be? Ethos, logos, or pathos?
I think it's logos.
Yes. How do
It's
you
about
know this?
it's
Yes.
about a fact, and they mention 25%.
Very good. It's data, right? It's statistics as well.
Statistic.
Yes. Thank you so much,
Yes.
Chawan. Number 5, my coach suggested I strength train every Sunday to work different muscle groups. Benai, my coach suggested I strength train every Sunday to work different um, muscle groups. I want to hear from the males. There's a lot of people on here, but they're not answering. Benai. No? Okay. Right. Raz.
Actually, it's ethos.
Yes. Which
Yeah,
part?
because my coach suggested.
Yes. My coach suggested is ethos. Okay.
Yeah.
It's somebody that you think is above you, that knows more than you about training, so you believe in what they say. Thank you so much. All right. Number 6, my since my little brother has to start school before me, I should let him shower first. What do you guys think this one is? Since my little brother has to start school before me, I should let him shower first. Chawan, I saw your hand up.
I think it's pathos because it's about emotional and being kind with his little brother, I think.
That is correct. Okay.
Yes.
When you read that sentence, it shows about empathy. It shows about putting somebody a foot before you. We all have had a little brother or a little sister that we would take care of. Okay. So it's stirring emotions. Thank you so much, Chawan. Number 7, smoking around kids is dangerous because defenseless children are exposed to dangerous chemicals which can lead to difficult breathing. Avesta, pathos? Do you all agree that it's pathos?
I,
Chawan,
I'm not. Oh, sorry.
I think it's logos because talk about a fact.
yes.
Smoking around a kid is something like fact.
Okay.
So I think it's logos.
You think it's logos? Okay.
Yes.
Um, it can be both. It can be both logos and pathos, and I'll tell you why. Obviously, we know that smoking around children is dangerous. That's your logic. That's a very logical explanation, okay? But it can also be pathos. There's one part in the sentence that is pathos, one word there. Which word do you think it is that makes it more, you
Dangerous.
feel defenseless? There you go. Defenseless children. Okay. We know that children, they cannot fight for themselves. They cannot do things for themselves. So we already know emotionally it's affecting us. So you can have situations where you have both logos and pathos together. Miss Raz, you have your hand up?
It's like difficulty birthing is
Yes.
emotional.
It's emotion, exactly. And you can put yourself in that
Yeah.
situation and
And the
also
children
learn defense.
cannot do, for example, yeah, this word, difficult birthing.
Yes. Thank you so much. Then the last one, sorry, the number 8, Listerine is recommended by most dental professions. Okay, Listerine, which is a mouthwash. Okay, which one is it appealing to? Raz,
Actually, it's ethos
that's
because
correct.
there's someone's recommended and there's
Very
more
good.
expert.
Correct. Dental profession. Okay. Right. Now let's look at the picture, number 9 picture. What do you think that picture is trying to get from you? If you have a watch, you look like a strong man, you can play. What do you think it's appealing to? It's a company that sells a watch, okay? There they have a guy who looks very confident. Then behind him is a soccer player. What is it trying to grab from you? Is it trying to grab ethos? Is it trying to grab an emotion? Okay? Or is it logos? Raz. Okay, I think my internet. Can I hear somebody? Chawan? Chawan? It's so slow over here. I apologize for that. Um, Hold on. Let me share my screen again. Um, okay. All right. Sorry about that. Chawan, could you just answer the picture number 9?
Miss, I think it's ethos because it's make trust to the product, or it's like being to make trust for the company or something like that. I think it's ethos.
You believe it's ethos, okay? All right.
Yes.
Um, Not really, because it's remember it's a watch company, and this watch company is trying to sell something to you. Um, So, they have, I think that's David Beckham that's on there. When you look at that picture is appealing to men, all right? If you buy this watch, you're going to look like David Beckham, you're going to be like a soccer player, which is, what is it? Okay, if you know men, they love soccer. So what do you think they're trying to persuade? They're persuading what? Chawan, try again. Yes.
I think that in this way it's a pathos.
Yes, there you go. It is pathos. Okay. So it's like using images to say to, especially to young boys that want to be like David Beckham, they love sports. They'll say, oh, okay, if you have this watch, you are just as good as David Beckham. Okay. So it's more about emotion, it's invigorating emotion. Picture number 10. Picture number 10. All right. Studies show that dual phase clinical strengthened toothpaste is 96% as effective as professional dental cleaning. So what do you think number 10 is representing? Raz?
I think it's a logos because it's statisticals and give us the fact, for example.
Yes, perfect. Okay, very good. All right, it is logos. And then the 11th picture, what do you think that one is? He's so sick he could die before you get to work. What are they trying to do there? Yes, Ms. Raz.
It's emotional, so it can be pathos because cryings and it's we can feel that. That's
Exactly.
emotional.
Exactly. So it's talking about a baby who maybe doesn't have access to food. And a lot of the companies that are trying you to donate money, they will always use pathos because they're trying to sell you something with emotion. All right. Awesome. Right. Thank you so much, everybody. We only have 5 minutes left on here, but I want you to please read um, the article in your course reader. So we've done this part. I want you to read this article. Does TikTok belong in schools? Okay. Does TikTok belong in schools? And then I want you to try and identify, all right, using this graphic organizer to take notes on the author's use of pathos, ethos, and logos. All right. And then on Thursday, the same article, I'm going to give it to you as a small assignment so that you can submit the assignment for a grade. So please read it, complete this work. If you have any questions, send it to me and I will respond it back to you. All right. So for this week, just know that we are focusing on these three things: pathos, ethos, and logos. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, Avesta, I see your question. Miss, can we talk about our grades? They were really low. Okay. So first of all, about the grades, the first two grades are actually the quizzes you guys did on campus. If I'm not, yeah, those are the ones that you actually did on campus. Remember, you still have a project. The project is 60%. What you see on the grades right now is not a true reflection. It's just me putting in grades from what you did from the beginning up until now. Some of you did not complete any of the online work. That's why I had to put in zeros. You had to do it so that I make sure that you are on track. And they're all under participation, by the way. So what you're seeing there is participation grades mostly, and the first two quizzes you did on campus. So I understand that maybe the grades look lower, but in general, everybody is on track. Once the project start, you will see the grades actually boosting because your project is worth 60%. Participation is only 10%. So what you're seeing is not a true representation of your ability. Okay. All right. I hope that makes sense. Anybody who else who has a question? Ms. Raz.
Sorry, you said that we have the same paragraph for twist Thursday.
Yes, I'm going to give you the same reading on Thursday for the assignment. So that's why I want you to start reading it, start making notes of the different pathos and ethos, because I'm going to ask you questions to identify where does the reader use pathos? Where does the reader use logos? Okay?
Thank you so much.
All right. Right, so this is recorded. This will be posted for other students to see that couldn't join today. There is this, so this is the only work you have to do on your own. If you have questions about it, let me know via email and I will respond. There is a quiz. Sorry, Avesta just asked me a question. She said, also, you said there is a quiz on Thursday. Thursday, Avesta. Okay. All right. Chawan, I have
Miss,
1 minute with you guys. Yes.
the quiz is about the article that we have in a reading, like does the TikTok belong in school?
Exactly. Exactly. So I'm letting you, yeah. So that everybody does well. I want you all to do well. So that's why I'm telling you the article is about that TikTok. So start preparing on it. And then on Thursday, you should be able to do it well because you have now access to the article where you have looked at the three different rhetorics. And so if I ask you a question from it, you should be able to answer it fairly well. Okay. All right. So I'm going to close off the meeting because we're going to be kicked out of Zoom soon. Thank you so much. This will be uploaded on YouTube